And it is 7:30. Why don't we get started? Can you record, Pam?
Recording in progress.
And get our attendance. Let me start first of all by announcing that this is the Bolton, Mass. Planning Board meeting of August 27th, and it's now 7:30 p.m.
Robert Romer,
Here,
Michael Gore,
Yeah.
Austin Groner,
here,
Michael Lau,
Here.
and it looks like Eric Nyland is absent and James Barr is absent as well.
okay. Why don't we move on to our first agenda item, which is the continuation. James
Bob,
just
I'm
came.
just gonna, Jim Barr is just logging in now. If we could just hold on
Good.
one second.
Why don't we wait a minute?
Yes, I'm having trouble with my computer, so it's restarting, so I'm on with my phone.
Not an uncommon situation.
Yeah. I don't get these new laptops. You look at them the wrong way, they break. The old ones, you could drop them out of a second story window and they'd be fine.
They'd wreck the concrete. Okay, so now we have Mr. Barr on board. So we have a 7:30 hearing, a continuation of a previous hearing. Do you want to read the notice on that, Pam?
We don't need to because it's a continued hearing, so the notice doesn't
Okay.
need to be reread.
And we do have late breaking new information. Multiple new information. Yeah. Do you want to put up the plans? I think we've seen them before. We have the plans, obviously. I don't know if folks have had a chance to look at them. They were very much as had been described earlier. We have the staff comments, and we have a note from the Board of Health on the arsenic issue that I believe I mentioned earlier.
So at the last meeting, the applicant reviewed a preliminary proposal to consolidate driveways into two different ones. One is a shared driveway, which is utilized between lots 1 and 5. And then the common driveway was consolidated, and it services the remaining lots on the property. Here, the indexing is a little hard to get it all together, but the common driveway services lots 7, 8, 9, and 2 and 6. And then there's a shared driveway which services lot 1 and 5.
Right.
It's easier to see the layout here just because of the grading and the way the sheets are broken out. So
But
so that
that's
was the revision, and the associated detention and stormwater treatment was amended as well to accommodate the revised layout. The stormwater calcs were sent to Haley Ward for review. They were sent out on Monday, the 20th of August, and they will have their peer review responses submitted back to us by September 4th. We don't have them as of yet.
okay. And I suspect we will have some comments from them on things such as slope stability and HOA and so forth.
Yeah, one of the comments, which was in the original staff review memo and then the subsequent staff review memo, was for an erosion control plan and construction phasing plan, and that has not been received yet.
Right. And that's near and dear to my heart based on recent past experience.
There's a significant amount of cuts and fills, and there's a steep grades associated with the property. So it was suggested and agreed to by the applicant that they create that erosion control plan. And then another outstanding issue was
Yeah.
the affordable home. These lots were created in 2005, and our inclusionary zoning bylaw was adopted in 2003. So they are obligated to provide us with an affordable housing unit or a payment in lieu of.
Okay. And then the Board of Health sent out their note with regard to arsenic.
Yes, the Board of Health submitted a letter stating that they would require soil testing for arsenic prior to the development of any septic systems.
I think it was arsenic and lead. Is that right?
Let me pull that up. I didn't catch the lead.
Mhm.
I believe the source material was, as is typical in Bolton in the 1950s, for lead arsenate for apples.
So what's the history there, Bob? So is that a is that
It
a
was used as an
pesticide?
insecticide. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it was let me just resume. Arsenic and lead, yep.
Yep. And that's not unusual in Bolton at all, sadly. But nobody knew at the time what the implications were. Okay, so at this point, I believe it would be appropriate to have a further continuation of this pending feedback from the peer review and any comments from the applicant with regard to certainly the Board of Health comments confirming that they will do this.
So do we know, I mean, do we want to continue as the next meeting? Want to do it, excuse me, for 2 meetings out to give them time to respond to comments, or?
Yeah, I think makes good sense, Mike, because we're not going to get the comments back from the peer review until the beginning of September, and then they'll need time to review that and respond to those. So what do we got for a meeting after that, Pam?
We have September 10th and then September 24th.
Why don't we go for the 24th? Because that's, from the 3rd to the 10th, I don't think is enough for them to digest it.
Is that good, Pam?
Fine with me.
Okay. I make a motion to continue the public hearing for, hang on, lost my. Continue the public hearing for special permit for common driveway for Waterquack Hill until September 24th.
Second.
Robert Romer,
Yes,
Michael Gore,
Aye.
Austin Groner,
I
James Barr,
Aye.
Michael Lau.
Aye.
The hearings continue to September 24th.
Hey, Pam, a question. I noticed that the AI note came up on the screen. What's your experience now with notes generated by AI?
They've gotten better, but still, they're not great for hearings, but they're good for general discussion summarizing. So they don't catch a lot of the votes accurately in terms of roll calls and that type of thing. But when we have general discussions about, say, something like the Four Bush Mill area, then it seems to be pretty helpful.
Good. No, I use them on a couple of other organizations that I'm involved in. The one thing I like about the newest version is action items come out fairly clearly, which is
Yeah,
good.
it does a good summary of next tasks and that type of thing,
Yep.
from what I found. Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the Tadmore Tri-Party Agreement. I assume everybody's looked over that. It does make the commitment that the planning board is going to go ahead and submit an article. So I want to make sure we all understand that.
Well, the plan was always that needs to be rezoned in order for that to happen. It
Right, yeah,
doesn't, we don't have, like, we don't have to do the article, otherwise it reverts back to fee in lieu of, right?
yeah. No, but it does indicate in this that the planning board will go ahead and do that. And to me, that brings up, frankly, an issue of planning process that if the onus is on us relatively near term, and this is relatively near term, to put together an article without having completed the study that we've been talking about and working closely with, first of all, giving it more public visibility, working more closely with the town and the landowners. My druthers at this point is that we start developing a much closer direct partnership with the Economic Development Committee, since they're very key to this. But we can discuss that later.
Yeah, it does state, so long as the board approves of the conceptual plan, you'll sponsor a town meeting article.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, at this point, we're in a position of approving a conceptual plan um, without really having the appropriate zoning in that area, which is kind of preemptive, frankly. Mike, you've been involved in the history of this. What do you think?
And it's number 6 in there is, is the condition that says, I mean, the goal is to develop this. I mean, that's what we're working towards.
Yep.
And so in the event that the board approves the conceptual plan, the rezoning is not passed the town meeting, then it reverts to the in lieu of. So I mean, I that was how I interpreted that. Am I?
Yeah, no, that's correct.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, again, like, we're doing all this work of the of that study area. So I would imagine that the end result of that should be a rezoning article.
Oh, absolutely. But
Yeah. Yeah.
and
So I mean,
yeah, you're
I
right.
think it'd be one thing if this was just a one-off, right? One thing, but it's like this is one of our goals for 2025, 2026 is
Yep.
that area. So I'm fine with everything here.
I second that. Hey, Michael, just one quick thing. I'm at least having a hard time hearing you.
Oh, really?
My
Yeah.
connection or your headset, maybe.
Much like Jim, my laptop is giving me trouble, so I'll dial up. So thanks, Tech.
Nope. Well, I'm just gonna stop sharing so I can see him coming back in.
Yeah, the whole issue of Tadmore, though, I think should give us significant impetus to move as quickly as we can with this whole economic study. And I do think, and it's too bad Eric isn't on board right now, but I do think we need to get the Economic Development Committee much more involved. Certainly from an advisory perspective, they're front and center in all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, can you hear me any better now?
Much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what is going on with my laptop. It is driving me nuts.
That makes two of you.
Yeah, something in the air tonight. I don't know.
Yeah. Gremlins of the internet.
So
Okay.
what's
Go
the
ahead.
next step with this tri-party agreement? So we would have to work with Bruce Wheeler. So this is an agreement between Bruce, the planning board, and who's the third party here?
The lender, the bank,
Right.
they provide the security.
Got it.
We have to sign the document and it gets recorded at the registry of deeds. By we, I mean the planning board, not me.
Yeah.
Oh, do we need to vote on this? Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to vote and then I would need you all to stop by and sign the document, and I need the chair to have his signature notarized.
Okay.
Pam, you didn't have any edits to this that you needed? Look good to you?
Austin's name was spelled incorrectly and there was a typo in the amount, so we fixed those.
Okay.
And town council's reviewed this and we've incorporated their comments.
Okay. I will make a motion to approve the tri-party agreement for Tadmore subdivision.
Second.
Robert Romer,
Yes.
Michael Gore,
Aye.
James Barr,
Aye.
Austin Groner,
Aye.
Michael Lau.
Aye.
The agreement's approved by a vote of 5-0. And when you come in to sign this, I'll put it in the gray box. Just in case it's after hours on the weekend, whatever you have time to do. There's also a form in there from the Registry of Deeds that we need signed, and we have to file that with the registry so they continue to accept our A&R plans.
Incidentally, I have a practical concern about stuff that is in the box in front of town hall, and that is if it's raining, it's really difficult to figure out a place to sign it.
Oh, without it getting wet?
Uh-huh.
I can move it. That's not a problem. There's just not a lot of space there.
I mean, it's something as simple as somebody can just put a piece of plywood on top of that thing so you can lean on it and sign something.
Oh, sure, sure.
I was trying to figure out how to get inside it to do it, but I don't fit.
I usually just bring it over to the front of it under the awning there where the picnic table is, and that's usually
Yeah,
okay.
convenient.
Put a clipboard, I can put a clipboard in. That'll be
I was just
helpful.
gonna
Yeah,
say-
that might actually be, that's fine.
As long as it's not a plan, we'll figure something
Yeah,
out.
well, it's a little slightly more challenging. And you really don't want to get, well, I don't know, Mylars you can get wet. Not a good idea. Okay, just as a follow on with that, as I mentioned, moving on to the next, the Forbush Mill Main Street study area. As I said, I'm sorry that Eric isn't here, but I'd really like to have a joint meeting with the Economic Development Committee to present the process that you had identified, Pam, in your scope and the process incorporated in that, and then walk through the various maps and overlays that you've developed to identify what it looks like, what the limitations are, who owns it, what the zoning is, et cetera, and bring them into the fold in terms of their ideas about how this should be handled. And probably do that before we have a more public invitation to the landowners to have something of a charrette type discussion. But
How
could
often
you,
does the EDC meet? Do they meet monthly?
They haven't had a quorum, they didn't meet over the summer, but they probably haven't had a quorum in about 6 months now. Though
how could you encourage them?
They continue to meet and discuss things. It's just getting a quorum together, and there's one vacancy we'll be filling.
How many people are on it? Pardon my ignorance.
There's 6 on there.
Okay. And so they need 4 to get a quorum, huh?
Right.
And is 6 acting or 6 approved, but only 5 appointed?
There's 5 right now with 1 vacancy.
Okay. And is Marie giving that some visibility so that we can get
Yeah,
another?
we have a few volunteer questionnaires, result forms that were submitted that of people that expressed interest.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
Yeah. So we
Okay.
should be able to fill it soon.
Yeah, if you can coordinate with whoever you need to, I guess Eric is the key person on this, and see if we can't get a meeting with them and a sort of background and an agenda, which would be focused pretty much around what you've put together already in the various documents, just to give them a sense of what the objectives are, what the current situation is, and start doing some thinking about how we engage other people in the process and move as quickly as we can.
Sure.
Uh,
We
okay.
have been discussing it, just so you know, they did get into some discussion about not really thinking that senior housing on the Tadmore property was the best idea, just due to the proximity to the school and focusing on maybe some economic development opportunity that would be associated with the demographic that utilizes the is frequency area.
Oh, yeah, I can't disagree with that at all.
Does that mean
Again, you
does
know,
that mean
it's,
businesses catering to younger people? What
Yeah,
is
I
that?
think
Does that
actually
actually
Frank
mean?
Chiodo actually did surveys of the high school students to see what
Yeah.
type of issues they would visit, so
Yeah.
would he be willing to share those with us?
I can ask.
Yeah, it'd be very nice to have some initial input from,
Mhm.
one of the key stakeholders, as it were, stakeholder groups anyway.
Mhm.
It'd be terrible to go ahead without that kind of input. So if you can talk to Frank about that and see if he's willing to give us that. And then certainly I think understanding the local demographics, being high school students and staff would be very useful. So if you can let us all know when we might be able to have a joint meeting with those guys. So are there additional things we ought to be looking at in terms of the work that you've done, Pam?
I just did inventory. I just have a couple things left. I'm meeting with Randy next week to go over some of the DPW property issues and the landfill closing information. And we already discussed the gas line that was going through
Yep. Oh,
the
yeah.
property. There is no line there.
Yeah.
And he was not aware of any easement that's on record. And I couldn't find anything at the registry either, so that's an unknown right now, but he definitely felt confident that the gas line is not in the ground.
Okay, how would we go about absolutely determining what that is, what might have been planned, what potential easements, which sounds like there are none, there are on that?
The only thing I could find at the registry, and I think without a title search, because it hasn't shown on any, we checked surveyed plans for the high school, it didn't show on there.
The
And
one behind the high school is there and is well defined, right?
that one, yeah, but the one that's shown on our GIS that continues through the transfer station property was not shown on the high school site
Okay.
plans. And in fact, they're constructing the building over it. And he did landfill closing reports and he's pretty confident that there's nothing in the ground there. So we're not sure that whether the easement still exists or not. I did find this in an old deed for when you traced it back, kind of been going down a lot of rabbit holes. There's a reference to a Commonwealth of Mass pipeline or water supply easement back in, I think it was 1956.
What about the call before you dig thing? Shouldn't they have an updated list of every possible thing that you could encounter?
They
Yeah,
would
dig
have
things-
everything that's in the ground.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So the question remains about the easement, whether there is one or not.
Right.
Yeah, we're pretty confident. It's just, what are the legalities of the easement? If it's really still in existence or not. And this was the only thing I could find, which is very vague. And this refers to one of the transfers parcels owned by the town. It says, subject to the rights acquired by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts relative to a pipeline or water conduit in and through the same. And this
Well,
deed
it
is
is
so
vague.
old, it has rod references, and that was the only thing that we could find, so. Not certain if it even still exists.
So if you really wanted to chase this down, how would you go about it?
I don't know how else, what more we can do without doing a title search, which I don't know is really worth it, or we can just maybe plan around the 20 feet width that's typical of an easement for that purpose.
Yeah, but I mean, in an economic development area, that would be a significant impact.
I'll show you.
It would be sure be nice to run this to ground. Is there anybody, wow. Talking generally about the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, that's kind of a big,
Yeah.
but they talk a pipeline or a water conduit. I mean, it'd be interesting to know whether the pipe applied to water or whether it was gas or other liquid.
Right. So this we found record of this pipeline, this easement area to the north. This one we could not find any record of, which runs through our study area.
For the other one, what was the plan there?
There was a plan which outlines the easement through the properties that's recorded at the registry.
And that one is a pipeline or a water conduit as well?
That one said public utility easement, I think. I forget which company it was to, but we found clear record of it.
Mhm.
But Pam, if it goes directly, which it does, under the high school, there must be something, somebody in the high school must understand what that means.
Or the other easement, right? Because look, it also connects to the other.
Yeah,
Right.
this is the pipeline easement, this one to the rear of the property, and that was easily defined. It's shown on all the plans. This one to the high school was not.
But
I
it's
can
all,
reach out to the
Who-
engineering company and see if they came across it.
yeah, that would be useful, but who put gas line on it?
I don't know.
Ah,
There's a lot of errors within the GIS, so I'm
okay.
not holding a ton of
But
weight
if you
to
can
it.
check with the high school about that.
There is not a gas line there, that we're pretty
No,
certain.
no, there's nothing there
Yeah.
now. But it would be very sad to go through all of this and suddenly discover we have a 40-foot swath through the middle of everything that we hadn't anticipated. So if, any further work you can do on that would be very useful. The other question that had come up was that I believe you had asked was the question about remediation and soil testing associated with the spill at the DPW.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna meet with Randy on
Okay,
to go over all, I'm pretty sure they still do, testing. I believe he mentioned that.
okay. It would be nice to know what the plan is. I mean, all that would be in the DEP docket on that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But it
All right.
would,
I have one more question about the pipeline or the potential easement here. So what about number four, right? So lot number four is that the real estate office? That goes
Yes.
right above that proposed easement.
Yeah, so does the high school.
So is the high school, right? So how could they have constructed this without going through the verification process that the
I-
easement does exist?
I can't find any information that it does exist other than that deed reference that I just showed you, and then I'm not certain it's referring to this specific line.
Okay, got it.
It's very non-descriptive.
Hmm.
but the bottom line is every indication at this point, patently, that there is no line there. The question is, does somebody have an easement that would impact economic or any other development of that area? So anything we can do to run that to ground would be very useful.
Yeah, the consequence of us of getting this wrong is what, right? So if we were to construct a whole economic development zone over top of this, and one day the person who this easement is with wants to utilize this easement, what does that actually mean? We'd have to.
Ultimately, it's the property owner's responsibility to adhere to the easement restrictions. So the zone itself doesn't really have much implication on the easement. We just want to be aware of it as we move forward with
I see.
planning.
So individuals could be impacted. Individual landowners would be. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the whole planning for economic development and the whole layout would be at risk to some degree. But it would be, to your point, Austin, if you went in and did a title search of of lot four there, building four, you would think that anything that was an easement would turn up in that.
Hmm.
I had can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I did have National Grid put a pole on my property, like, I don't know, I'm gonna say 10 years ago. And I remember chatting with the guy because I had to fill out the easement paperwork. And he was basically like, yeah, back in the day, they just never did this. Like they would just come and they would stick a pole in your property and that was that. And he's like, there was no easement, no whatever. So he's like, it's a huge mess, basically, is what he was saying. So it wouldn't surprise me if the paperwork just doesn't exist, if even if there were something.
Yeah, it's just puzzling that this is on a map somewhere. So like where
Yeah,
did it come from?
yeah.
Anyway, so that's a question mark right now.
Yeah,
Probably not a huge one, but if we're gonna make recommendations about use of this area, we probably ought to know a little more.
right.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it looks like it connects to the other one as well that you
yeah,
did find, Pam. So like maybe there's some connection between this one and the other one. So that's another place to go looking, maybe.
Yeah, we tried. We went and did searches by the company that this easement was granted to. We went on the gas line location website. We couldn't find much of anything.
Mhm.
We spent a good amount of, Lauren's been helping too. We spent a good amount of time on it and I reached out to Randy and he had no knowledge of it either. But well, I'll try the high school engineering company and see if they have knowledge of it.
yeah.
I think it
See
was
if they,
Weston and Sampson.
while excavating, they turned up any pipe.
No, just if they came across an abandonment document or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. And that's the next possibility. Even if something were found, you could have them abandon it, particularly if there isn't any value or any plans associated with that. Okay, so that's a question mark, and you're going to talk to Randy about the whole status of remediation and testing.
Yes.
And that, I think, at this point, provides a pretty good overview of what we have here.
Yeah, it's been interesting. So if you want to take a look at that and the mixed use, the land use table, they're all in the Google Drive
Okay,
in the same folder.
okay. So with those two issues, I mean, to the extent that you can get additional information, and then if you can set up a meeting, you know, if you can't pull a quorum for economic development, maybe a meeting, a formal meeting of the planning board with visitation rights by a non-quorumed other committee.
Yeah, we'll do. We're working on getting the vacancy filled, and they're gonna start meeting again in September. So
Okay,
we'll get something together for September, hopefully.
tell them we have a hot new prospect. We need to get on with it. Okay, any other comments on this?
It is a little kind of, the formatting gets a little wonky when you put it from Word into Google Drive, so right now, just don't pay too much attention to the column lists and that type of thing. If things are cut off, it kind of does that automatically in Google Drive. So these are all pages, but they bled onto one another when it was put into Google Docs.
Have you noticed if you download it, does it resolve that? Can you download it to
When I
Word?
download it from Google Drive into Word, it resolves it, yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's when I did it, it looked fine. Okay, that's great. Can we move on to review of the June 11th meeting minutes? Were there any comments? I found one microscopic typo, a slash instead of a period somewhere in there.
Oh, right here.
Yeah,
See it.
okay. But that was it.
Fine with me.
Great. A motion,
I'll make a motion to approve the planning board minutes from June 11th, 2025.
a second.
Robert Romer,
Yes,
Michael Gore,
Aye.
Austin Groner,
I
Michael Lau.
Aye.
Jim, we need you to abstain from the vote because you were absent that day, so the minutes passed by a vote of 4-0.
thank you. Pam, anything else to report? How's 580 doing?
580 is good. We're in the process of finalizing their affordable rents. We've been keeping a list of interested applicants that would like to be notified when the lottery applications become available. Once that's done, we expect to get the publicizing out pretty quickly, and there's local preference provided to Bolton residents.
Ooh, that's good.
and just out of curiosity, I think I read 25% of those units are held as affordable units.
Yes, that's correct.
Got it.
The first building 4 is expected to apply for occupancy by the end of October.
Great.
And when do people start moving in?
They can move in as soon as the occupancy is issued. Oh, Eric, you're here.
Yeah, I joined in the middle. I had a question. I saw that house on the ramp to 495 South was for sale, like the third lot in a row, right next to the animal health. That's a business zoned lot.
Yep.
Limited business.
So we should, I don't know, maybe the EDC could do, but like that should be advertised as a potential, very visible, I don't know what size, how many acres is it?
It's not, hold on one second. I'll pull it
Not
up.
very
It's,
big.
it's probably.
But
But the
It's
Zillow
you know,
listing did talk about, commercial uses.
It's 1 acre.
1 acre, so they couldn't rebuild. Oh, well, actually you could, right? Because it's just coverage. So business zone, so 40,000, so they could do 20%, I think it is. So
Well,
that's,
it's a pre-existing non-conforming lot, so they would need to go to the ZBA for any construction.
no, but it is, but it's business zoned, so it
It's
does,
still
it doesn't,
undersized.
but it shouldn't fall under the 1.5 acre zoning minimum, should it? Because it's business zone?
Yes, the business zone still has more than an acre zoning requirement.
Does it?
Hmm.
I thought like it was just like, that's something we should get rid of. Because we have that same issue with the what is it? The realtor, the one over on Forbush still, which is a really small lot.
Yeah,
Um,
it's the realty office, right?
yeah, I would think for business zone, if you like, I guess people don't want you to like just subdivide the lots like crazy. You know,
Yep,
maybe you have some footage requirement. But my point is, for that lot, you know, maybe you can argue to the ZBA that you can get the 20%, so you can build an 8,000 square foot, building. I mean, I guess I don't know what would fit there, or what, you would need some parking or something too. Maybe
Yeah,
you could somehow share with.
I was thinking what ideas could, I guess, for a single acre lot off of this is off of 117, is that right?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
right
it's
on
right
the
at the
ramp to.
intersection.
right
Yeah.
beside the exit ramp.
I'm
Entrance
still
to
trying to
95
figure
south.
out. Yeah, can we pull up like Google Maps or something just so I get a quick idea of.
Yeah.
I'm
I
kind
just,
of like not able to visualize it for some reason. Okay. So
but I can pull up the street view.
what's across from it? I think that might just get my bearings.
So it's Clinton
Bolton
Savings Bank, and then
Financial.
the Clinton Savings Bank, then the animal health, the animal that I don't know if it's a veterinarian
Well, as,
straight
as
up.
you're
but-
going 117 east,
Yep.
it's the old decrepit house right before you get onto 495 south.
Oh,
It might, hold on.
Yeah,
So
turn
turn
left.
around. Yep.
Keep going. Turn right now.
Right
Yeah, that
there.
one.
There it is.
Right there.
And if you look to the right further, you could see the integrative animal health, and then Clinton Savings Bank.
Got it. Okay, so a small business probably could fit there. I think,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean, it has good, it's good street traffic. So if you had something interesting there, I mean,
And it's the
It's a
same
good
size
spot.
lot as it's the same size lot as the Clinton Savings, right?
yeah,
So
I mean,
there's
it's-
a perfect example of what could go there, except maybe not another bank.
As long as you're traveling east, it's good.
Yeah, right.
The number of people I've seen turn into integrative animal health coming west is it's quite an interesting challenge.
Yeah, they're all about an acre. The zoning requires 1.5.
yeah, well, so you just have to go before the ZBA, I guess, but
Yeah,
I don't see why they would be against it.
I don't think they would, honestly,
Yeah.
but
No.
Anyway, so I thought that was an interesting property.
Yeah.
But it's been up for sale several times before.
Yeah.
So how would we go forward with this in terms of a recommendation? So would we have to figure out if there's a developer who wants to try to build something, but also would have to understand it, have to go before ZBA to get anything approved?
Yeah.
Well, I would assume that anybody in a commercial development business would look at that right away.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten any calls on it, honestly.
It was 700 something thousand. It's expensive for basically what's probably a tear down.
Yeah, they're trying to just sell, basically they're selling a business lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a lot. Anyway, sorry I was late. softball practice, but now that it's getting dark every single week, so they won't go this late anymore.
Saved by winter.
Yeah.
The building is 1,400 square feet.
Mhm.
It's a single family home, so it required retrofitting for business use or tear down.
I knew somebody, a business owner in Marlborough. I'm not sure where she lives, but she has her business in Marlborough. Who's interested? She wanted to set up a child care center in Bolton. Pam, I'm not sure if she came to you sometime last year, but there was one lot that was advertised, and she was trying to see if it would fit, if she'd be able to put her business there. Would this, I mean, I know the child care centers, they don't have to be zoned as commercial, right? You could actually have them in residential.
Yeah, they
That's
can go
correct.
anywhere.
Okay. But would that fit on this lot? I'm kind of curious. Maybe an acre's not enough for a child care center.
Well, I mean, if you could have an 8,000
Title V
square foot,
The zoning, she could probably make it work. The Title V issues I'm uncertain about.
Title Five. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And if you, that's an interesting point. If you have a childcare center, do you have to have a public water supply?
I would assume so, but I'm not absolutely positive on that. I can ask.
It's right up against.
Was water supplied? Why would you need that?
Because you need potable water for the
And a well
the-
doesn't satisfy
Fine.
that?
No, because it's for public use. You're not
So
just serving
a
a house,
public-
residential
yeah.
household.
it's just a bigger radius you need.
Yeah, that's right. And monthly monitoring.
But I mean, we should look into what Clinton Savings Bank and the Integrative Animal Health have. You know, I don't know if they have a shared system or a public water supply, if there was a way to gang it up somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
I don't think they have public water supplies there.
It'd be listed in the map.
No.
No, they don't. None of them do. It's interesting.
No.
So
So
that means-
maybe for a childcare center, it isn't required.
I don't know. I feel like it would be because if
Well, I would think
Like-
so.
like the bank, I could see them not serving water, you know, or any, yeah. And I think maybe even the animal center, they wouldn't serve the water to the public, but I think a child care center probably would need some potable water
Yeah,
source.
I agree. I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the right kind of business for that lot, especially for somebody looking for maybe a pre-existing building with maybe not a lot of, you know, a ton of renovation. It may just not be the right fit for her, but she's interested in trying to open up something in the Bolton area. So
Okay.
trying to keep her in mind a little bit.
I imagine somebody looking at that particular lot, the challenges of access and egress, depending on the particular business. So
Mhm.
very challenging.
Right.
Basically, you'd have to be heading east in both cases.
Yeah, it would have to be like no turn to the west, you know.
No,
And
no.
probably that should be there for all three of those, really.
Yeah.
To be there for everything on the side of the street.
I mean, ideally we have enough space on Main Street where we could have a turning lane in between, right? But that's a North Star vision for what could happen.
Yeah.
Maybe if we add a rotary at that intersection, so you can have a rotary on either end, then everybody just turns right.
Thank you for that input.
By the
If
way,
you have one rotary, might as well have more.
the rotary by the high school doesn't look like a rotary. I'm very confused about that, but maybe they're just not done yet.
They're
They
waiting
haven't,
for
they haven't
Verizon.
added the rotary.
They're
they
waiting
I
for
had to wait for
Verizon.
Verizon.
Sorry, go ahead.
They're waiting for Verizon to move some poles, and that stalled the project.
Got it. So we have them to thank.
But we do have the drawings, right?
Yeah, I'll bring them up.
Yeah. It's a pretty tight area.
Going to be interesting for trucks.
Yeah, well, that's why there's two rotaries. One of small diameter around which a 18-wheeler can get, and the rest are for cars. Yeah, there they are. So the little white one is the real non-penetrable rotary, and the hashed one is the one that a truck can go over.
It's similar to the one on Route 70 near Route 2, if you know that one, near the
Right.
Oh, yeah.
soccer fields.
On
Yep.
Mechanic Street, yeah.
So, okay, so the trucks could drive over the center if they had to.
Not over the center, but around a much smaller radius. They can't go across that white area.
Yeah, I see. Yep. Got it.
So this hasn't, I think the poles are here somewhere, and they're waiting for them to be removed so they can create the radius that's required.
Waiting for Verizon is like waiting for Godot.
Thanks for the update.
Okay. Anything else? Do I have a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
In a
Second.
second?
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.